What is up? What is up, everyone? I'd like to welcome you guys to the first ever Coyne Reports podcast. I'm your host, Liam Coyne, and I'm here to take you guys down a path of pure facts, no bias, so you guys can go forth in your lives to better understand things, base your opinions, and to be able to combat news headlines, elected officials' claims, and even fellow citizens' claims. So today I got a biggie for you guys, and the reason being is over the last couple days we have seen many riots and protests across our country, and this has been spread all over the news, all over social media, and I see it as it is important to focus on this, but we also have this big thing moving through Congress that's going to affect all of our lives, which it seems we have all forgotten. It seems in today's world, we are conditioned with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube to only have the attention span for things in a short period. So once you stop seeing that stuff being pushed at you and it moves on to the next thing, we forget about it. But we need to change that. So this big thing I'm talking about is HR 1, or better known as the Big Beautiful Bill, if you guys remember this from a week or two ago. This bill covers a lot from taxes and healthcare to education, national defense, and it could affect your everyday life. My goal is to break it down for you clearly with no bias, just the facts, so you can trust what you're hearing and feel good about tuning in next time. Also, if there's things throughout this series going into this bill that you find troubling, this bill is still in the Senate. So it would urge you to contact your senators and say, hey, I don't like this in the bill. So let's start off with what is HR 1. It's a bill that was passed by the House of Representatives on May 22nd of this year. A very close vote, 215 to 214. That tight result tells us it's an important piece of legislation, one that's got a lot of people talking, and also how it's kind of split down party lines, as we can see how Congress right now, at least the House of Representatives, the Republicans do have the majority, but they don't have that much of a majority. So it's called the reconciliation bill. That means it's focused on adjusting the federal budget, things like government spending, taxes, the debt limit. And why does this matter to you? Well, because it touches on so many parts of our lives, from the cost of groceries, quality of our roads, or even the price of college. Before we dive into the bill, let's take a moment, because I want you guys to understand clearly what reconciliation is. I'll try to keep it simple, I promise. Just stick with me. So for a moment, think about your budget. You've got income, either from your job or your savings, investments, so forth. And you have expenses like rent, your mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, gas for your car. But sometimes you need to make changes. If you have a big purchase you want to make, like a new TV, a new computer, a new car, even a new house, you have to cut back on things like dining out, which is something I need to do, or saving more on a big purchase. That's what reconciliation is for Congress. It's how they adjust the government's budget to meet their goals. And so here's how it works. Every year, Congress creates a budget resolution, which is like a plan for how much they'll spend and collect in taxes. That plan includes instructions for specific committees like agriculture, education, defense. You get the picture. And these are to make changes to their programs to hit those budget targets. And those changes get combined into a reconciliation bill, and that's what HR 1 is. So if you guys remember earlier this year, the news and even fellow citizens I had heard from, they thought that this budget resolution flying through both houses of Congress, might I say, was the budget, but it actually wasn't. And this is why I want to explain this, because the news was making it sound like it was the budget, like the budget bill. In fact, it was the framework, which HR 1 which is the reconciliation bill, is based off of. All right. So you may ask yourself, why do you have to have these two separate bills? Why can't it just be a budget bill? Well, here's the thing. In the Senate, a reconciliation bill only needs a simple majority. And that means usually in the Senate, a bill needs 60 or more votes to pass. But a simple majority, they only need 51 votes, or 50 with the vice president breaking the tie. And what it also does is it allows the bill to not be filibustered. Now, I know you guys have probably heard that term either from the news or on TV, on social media. And essentially what it is it's a tool that senators have that allow them to speak as long as they want. And it halts everything else that goes on in the Senate until that senator is done speaking. And it's a privilege that they have because there's only 100 members in the Senate. And I don't want to dive too deep into it, but the great compromise when our Constitution was being wrote was there was an argument that states with lower populations weren't being represented enough. So that's why in the House you have members that are elected based on population of each state. And in the Senate, each state has two. And in the Senate, in the House, I should say, when representatives get up to speak, they only have a set time to say everything they have to say, where a senator can stand up and be heard as long as they want. So usually what happens is, not trying to get political here, but the party that is not in the majority and are against a bill such as this will filibuster it. They'll get up and speak, and as long as they don't yield the floor, that bill can't be voted on until that senator is done speaking. For a more current example of that, if you guys remember, I believe it was a month or two ago, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, he got up and he spoke for a whole 24 hours, only yielding to questions from senators. And so if you think of it in this context, if this bill was up for vote that day, it wouldn't have been able to get voted on because it would have postponed it for a whole 24 hours. All right. So you may think to yourself, well, all right, why do we have that? Doesn't that hurt or affect elected officials from stopping something bad from happening, potentially? Well, there are rules to this. A reconciliation bill can only cover things that directly affect the budget, like spending, taxes, the debt limit, and they can't add unrelated policies, like new rules for public parks, or you can only have electric vehicles now. Stuff like that. It has to be affected to the budget. And this process was added back in the 70s in the Congressional Budget Act, and it's been used most recently for passage of the Affordable Care Act under the Obama administration, and also the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act under President Trump's first term. So I don't want to get political. That's not the point of this show, but just hypothetically, if you want to think about it, that this tool or parliamentarian process is used by a majority political party to get through big bills that they want to pass when they control both houses, as we can see with those two examples I gave you. Just something to think about. So H.R. 1 is using this process to make big changes with fewer hurdles. After passing the House, it goes to the Senate, where that simple majority makes it easier to move forward. Understanding this helps you see why H.R. 1 is such a big deal, guys. It's a way for Congress to tackle major budget issues quickly. And we could always pose the question, is it too quickly? Do they need to slow down? Analyze things more? Who knows? So let's move on to what's actually in the bill. I'm going to break down each section for you guys, give you a brief overview of the sections, and then later on, in following episodes, I will go specifically deeper into each section so you guys can understand exactly what's in each section. Now let's get to the heart of H.R. 1 and what's in it. This bill is like a giant roadmap for the government. 12 sections called titles, each covering different areas. I'm going to walk you guys through all of them and share some examples so you can see how they might connect to your life. Here we go. Title 1, Agriculture. This section focuses on food and farming. It includes changes to SNAP, the program that helps people afford groceries, with new rules like work requirements for some folks. It also puts money into rural communities, supporting farmers and protecting land. If you live in a rural area or rely on food assistance, this could make a difference. And if this is you, write this down, check it off. This should be one of our in the next following episode. Title 2, Armed Services. This is about our military. It funds things like new ships, planes, and better living conditions for our service members, like improved housing and healthcare. It's a major part of the budget, showing how much we prioritize national security. Title 3, Education and Workforce. If you're a student or have kids in college, this one's important. It changes student loans, who's eligible, and how they're repaid, and expands Pell Grants to help cover tuition costs. It also sets new standards to make sure colleges are delivering value. Title 4, Energy and Commerce. This is a big one, so we'll break it into parts in our series. It covers energy policies like natural gas and electricity, environmental regulations, internet access, healthcare changes, including Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. These could affect your utility bills or doctor visits, so be on the lookout for this one. Title 5, Financial Services. This deals with banks and financial rules. It sets new guidelines for financial institutions and strengthens consumer protections, like when you use a credit card or take out a loan. Keep the system fair and stable. Section 6, Homeland Security. This focuses on border security, funding more border patrol agents, new technology, and physical barriers. If you live near the border or care about immigration enforcement, this could impact your community. Title 7, Judiciary. This section covers immigration, like new fees for things like work permits or asylum applications, and some legal reforms. It's about how we manage and fund the immigration system. Title 8, Natural Resources. This is about our environment, oil and gas projects on public lands, water management, and wildlife conservation. If you enjoy the outdoors, care about energy production, this title matters to you. Title 9, Oversight and Government Reform. This aims to make government more efficient with changes like adjusting federal employee benefits to save money or improve operations. It's the behind-the-scenes work that keeps things running. Title 10, Transportation and Infrastructure. This funds roads, bridges, and things like the Coast Guard. It supports projects to fix highways or improve air traffic control. Title 11, Ways and Means. This one's all about taxes. It offers tax relief for families and small businesses, adjusts energy tax credits, and increases the debt limit by $4 trillion to keep the government funded. This could change what you see on your paycheck or tax return. And finally, Title 12, the budget. This is the technical part that makes sure the budget numbers add up. It's not the most exciting one, but it's essential to tie all the other titles together. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? This bill covers so many areas, from your grocery stores to your local roads, and each part could affect something you care about. And that's why we're going to go deeper in our next episodes of each title, so you can really know the nitty-gritty of each one. Well, that's our introduction to H.R. 1, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. We've talked about what it is, how reconciliation works, what the 12 titles are that are in the bill. And in our coming episodes, we're going to be breaking down each section and really analyze them so you guys can better know exactly what's in the bill. So whenever you hear claims from elected officials, from the news media, from fellow citizens, you know if it's true or false. I'm excited to keep exploring this with you guys, because understanding these laws helps you know what's shaping our country. Before you go, please head to our YouTube and subscribe to the Coyne Report so you don't miss out on episode 2, where we'll dive into agriculture, food, farms, and more. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or another platform, hit that follow button and maybe leave a quick review. It helps us reach more people just like you. And if you know someone who'd find this interesting, share the episode with them. I'd really appreciate it. And want to read the bill yourself? It's on congress.gov. I'll link it in the show notes and in the video description. Thanks for spending time with me today. I'm Liam Coyne, and I'll see you next time on the Coyne Report. Drive safe, and let's keep learning about our government together.